Hey everyone, we're nearing the end of the Timeline Park contest. In this video I will show you all our stage 11 entries and I will read out their stories. Alright, let's begin with the first one. The first story is from Astro. The king knew he needed one last great project to complete the transformation of the confluence. The only thing he was lacking was inspiration. He was not so vain as to make a monument of himself. He did not worship any god to dedicate his efforts toward. Finally it hit him. He would construct a monument to the settlers of the confluence themselves. It would take the largest attraction yet. A ride that symbolized the strength and fearlessness of his people. He incorporated the dragon's skull, the settlers' greatest vanquished enemy. Also in the new area, a hall of heroes was dedicated to the brave settlers responsible for taming the wilds. It was all set in the finest garden he could construct, so that all could enjoy and remember what it took to claim the land. With the task done, the king knew his legacy and the legacy of his people was secure. His final task would be to hear the wishes of his subjects and answer all he could. Okay, the next story is from Bags, Chapter 11, 1996. Ongoing wars in Eastern Europe and a new inverted coaster. In the last years, Yugoslavia was split up in Eastern Europe. The Bosnian and Croatian wars have ended. However, many other ethnic groups will fight for their independence in the region as well. Meanwhile, in Western Europe, the Schengen area was created for easier trades between countries that signed the Schengen Agreement. Within this area, border controls were abolished, making displacements to other countries much faster. For many families, this was a huge opportunity to visit amusement parks in the Schengen areas. Due to the last decades of war, huge progresses in mechanical and electrical engineering were made. During the long peacetime, engineers swapped their jobs and instead of creating man-devouring war machines, they developed awesome rides for the amusement park industry. This led to the installment of innovative new coaster types since the 1990s and many new parks were founded. A major invention was the inverted coaster. The first of its kind in Europe was placed in 1994 at the newly opened Dutch park Walibi Flevo. The Elysium Hippodrome decided to go for a huge investment to develop an inverted coaster as well, resulting in Flying Trapeze that opened in the 1996 season. A flying trapeze is an aerial act at the circus. A flyer will leave from a platform, hang on a flybar, and will do aerial tricks before he or she is caught by the catcher on a separate flybar. The flyer will then swing back to the original platform and is ready for another aerial trick. The coaster Flying Trapeze will give guests a similar aerial experience, when they hang with dangling feet below the track and travel through no fewer than 7 inversions. Alright, the next story is mine, it's from my park. James had worked on his Dirkling family orchard park for many years, and just like the park, James had also grown a bit older. Before it was time to maybe start taking it more easy, he still had one more dream he wanted to realize: having a roller coaster in the park with an inversion. Once again, James fired up several Get Good tutorials, and with the help of local construction companies, he got to work on a coaster reminiscent of the old Aero coasters that were hugely popular all over the country. After several months of hard work, a new coaster was erected, which was named Revolution. The coaster has 3 vertical loops and a batwing element, and can be seen in the background when walking towards the Mayan-themed area of the park. The coaster became very popular, and its queue quickly filled up with guests. Entertainers were hired to keep the guests occupied while they were waiting to enter Revolution. With the addition of the new coaster, Dirkling Family Orchard became very well known in the amusement park industry and beloved by many. James was satisfied. The next story is from Fidwell. Now fully under the control of Little Sluggers, the future is looking bright for what was once a small family mini-golf park. Despite the park's turbulent history, business is better than ever. The public was overjoyed to have the original management back in action, and their financial support allowed the park to follow through with the construction of the huge new intimate mega coaster that Dynagas originally planned. Some long-time guests were devastated when they returned to see the demolition of the minigolf, which defined the park's early years. But the looping thrill ride that replaced was a welcome addition. Though the drama may be over, the evolution of Little Sluggers isn't. Dynagas left plenty of open land ripe for something shiny and new. And with the park's future looking up, something else big might be in store. Okay, the next story is from Herbert. After saving up enough money, Andung could fulfill his dream and build a world-class hypercoaster at the park. With this coaster, Rongloi finally had a standout attraction that was sure to pull in many more guests. Around the new coaster, he built a new area with picnic tables, a shop and food stalls, serving traditional Vietnamese street food. The entrance area also did not look fit for such a big park, so it got a big overhaul. With Rongloi now having developed almost all available land, Andung started to think about what he could build to round out the park. Okay, the next story is from Nova. The Daily Asana, Novvark Asana, 24 October 2021. Breaking: Asana's grand opening of the circuit kart park, the Asana. Asana, one of the most loved theme parks in the region of Novvark, has opened one of its biggest projects ever. 2 months ago, the park decided to replace the land that was former of the warehouse. In an all-secret project, the park started working last month, and strong hints that it could be a go-karting track. The park wasn't accepting that the FIA was very interested in hosting a race for the FIA Formula Karting Championship. But after the FIA did some checks on the track, the park was very happy to announce it on the opening day of the track. The track has an exciting layout, which can have more than 4 different layouts, and is available for people that are 14 and older. The park said, "We are very happy to build such a great plot of land. We hope that the Sunny Frontiers can make a banger of an end to our 8-month development plan we decided to get when we joined their team. We are extremely happy to see our guests come back to park and having a great time. Many people have said to get a great feeling of a real go-kart race, and many hope to see many more things to come to the park." Alright, the next story is from Adrian 1994. Last year's new coaster, Gargoyle, furthered Southmouth's burgeoning reputation as one of the coaster capitals of Europe. Theme park enthusiasts from far and wide were in awe of the new terrain-conforming coaster, and the new Scare Maze was similarly popular. Naturally, excitement was at fever pitch for the major new roller coaster promised for this season by Southmouth Pleasure Gardens. An executive decision was taken to build a massive new inversion-heavy Gerstlauer Infinity coaster to wow thrill seekers and rival some of the UK's other legendary looping coasters. Inspired by the famous Greek myth, Icarus sees riders launched towards the sun at over 60 miles per hour before hurtling back to Earth with countless twists and turns along the way. Once again, the park bosses were keen to make the park as immersive as possible, so a new land had to be built to house the new coaster. The park have fully embraced the myth of Icarus and have designed a compact, ancient Mediterranean city for the new coaster to whiz around. Additionally, the park have built a Huss enterprise to draw even more guests toward the new area. Indeed, a further family attraction has also been promised, but the park have become preoccupied with the turbulent British weather once again. A harsh storm is approaching the coastline, and the park are doing all they can to protect the park. The park is hurriedly reinforcing the cliffs with thick brick walls and more rocks than ever to prevent erosion. Will the park be able to protect themselves in time? Tune in next time to find out. Alright, the next entry is from Ricardo. The new park entrance and the nighttime spectacular was a great success with the public. So John and Mary said it was time for a giant investment that would knock the socks off every visitor. Best part yet, they knew exactly what they would theme it after. They would theme it after the weird obsession Ricky McWardo had for killer whales, or how he would call them, orcas, as that sounds better. So after meetings with several coaster companies, they decided to go with a Swiss company called Bolliger and Mabillard, who would design and build them one of their famous sit-down coasters. The Kingdom makers then got busy theming everything. They designed a nice Scandinavian town and added a roto drop tower for good measure. Designer Adam then had the great idea of adding a lighthouse in the middle of the roller coaster, and so Fiskplaats, a Scandinavian fishing town, was born. Alright, the next story is from Savvy Adam. Savvy and Herbert was wanting to build another roller coaster, but with space being limited, they wondered what to do. Taking a look out at the water, the answer was clear: build another pier. The decision was made to relocate the popular Wild Mouse Zigzag to the new pier and use that space that Zigzag sat in for the new roller coaster. Zigzag was taken down piece by piece and was reassembled on the new pier. This gave the attraction a new thrill, as guests can now zig and zag right on the water and feel the fresh, cool ocean air run through their hair. So what was going to take place in the spot of Zigzag? Keeping with the family-style attractions, Soviet and Harbour made a call to Vekoma and ordered a new custom family suspended coaster, the Zodiac. With a height of 16 meters and a track length of 711 meters, reaching a top speed of 25 km per hour. This is sure to be a family favorite. Okay, the next story is from Soap and Butter Sandwich. The Wastelanders mega expansion plan is continuing at full speed. They have now finished the second half of the layout. The supports took up lots of space, so the planned buildings unfortunately had to be scraped. There's just one coaster left to build until the park is finished, and after a look around, they think they will be able to fit a medium-sized coaster towards the front of the park near the air hangar. With the new rides being as big as they are, the Wastelanders put extra effort into making it look more uniform. So they collected lots of spray paint so all the track is the same color, and collected the same coaster trains from different parks from around the area. Overall, the Wastelanders are very happy as they have made two massive coasters with uniform paint and trains. Alright, the next story is from The Shack. As Mr. Fantastic was standing at edge of his newly updated park, he started to wonder why he had never noticed the black void before. He sat and pondered if he had ever seen this before. After a while, he heard a terrible noise and looked for its source. He saw a huge spaceship coming down. Some weird aliens stepped out of the ship and communicated to Mr. Fantastic. They said that a long time ago, Earth was removed for an intergalactic highway, and they were keeping him alive because humans have the best amusement parks in the universe. They laughed and continued that the guests are really just aliens in disguise, and he was actually floating through space. The aliens then tried to leave, but had unfortunate car trouble. Mr. Fantastic then turned their spaceship and the land they destroyed into more of his park. Please enjoy the extended sci-fi area, the new spaceship area, extended Egypt area, and improved supports in the Jurassic area. Alright, then the next one is from Trumavarium. We're getting closer to the 1 year anniversary since the park's inception. Tycoon Trumavarium have made sure to celebrate this month by having yet another spectacle built. It was with a heavy heart the park got rid of the once loved Wild Mouse for its splendid use of block brakes. But in order to let something new and fresh arise, we must shy away old ghosts. The new installation is situated in the very corner of the park right next to the Star Flyer. It's the preemptive strike and it's quite a jaw dropper. A new kid and family friendly area has been constructed as well where the shuttle train once was. An adventure mini golf course ranging almost the whole coast of the lake and playground has been built near the entrance to the park. Warming up the audience this time, we can find the band Faith No More performing on the stage. While the song Midlife Crisis echoes throughout the park, and mostly within Tycoon Trumavarium, we are seeing the mysterious island being built, as well as something else by the new coaster. It might be the last touch this park will ever get, so it better be good. Okay, and here's the final story for Stage 11. This one's from Seklar. It is finally here. After years of waiting, the big payoff is finally upon us. The arrival of the hypercoaster Jormungandr. With the help of the members of Juggling Corp and the Get Good guides provided, Seklar was able to build a design that really fit the last big spot of the park that was left open. With this coaster, the popularity of the park skyrocketed. Due to the high cost of Jormungandr, not a lot of extra things could be added. All that was left to do was an extra station for the train and an extra restaurant. The next season will probably be the last time upgrades to the park can be done. Some ideas are in Seklar's mind, but what that is, we will have to find out next time. Alright, those were all the stories for stage 11. And next month will be the final stage of the park, and after that all the timeline parks will be rated. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. I hope you enjoyed watching all these parks and listening to their stories. I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.